action pizza parlor.
Ooh, I love pizza.
Ooh, me too.
Jinx.
And today is extra special because we're going to be building a pizza. It's a paper pizza,
It's so
but
cool.
it's still very cool. So yesterday we started out with this story, and they talked about pizza in this story too. And they cut their pizza into a specific size. Do you remember what fraction they cut their pizza into? Marco?
A flat.
They did cut their pizza into a fraction. And what fraction did they cut it into, Logan?
1/2.
1/2. Just like this. Remember, they took their whole pizza, they cut it into 2 halves, and that's how they have their whole. And so today we're going beyond that. We're going beyond 1/2. We even talked about 1/4 yesterday, where we cut it in half and then cut it in half again. And so today we're going to cut it again for more friends into 1/6 and then 1/8.
What?
And so our goal when we're cutting and looking at these pizzas is we want them to be equal, like in the story. The brother and sister both needed to have 1/2. And so that's what we want to do, but using different combinations of these fractions. So using 1/4, using 1/8 to still make equal parts. And so now I'm going to demonstrate what that would look like. But I want to remind everyone about our rating system, rating our understanding. Can a friend remind us of our class rating system? How do we know how much you understand and if what I'm saying is making sense? Logan, can you share?
Okay, so we pick a number through 1 and 5 that shows how we understand what you're talking about. So 1 is I don't understand. A 2 is I kind of. A 3 is I kind of do, but I still need a little help. And then a 4 is I understand. And then a 5 is I understand and I can help someone else.
Perfectly said. So 1 through 5. 1, that's where we're starting. Really need a lot of help, not so sure. 5, I've mastered this and I'm ready to help a friend. So let's take a look at our pizza crust here, okay? And the first thing we're going to do is cover 1/2 of it.
Ooh.
I cut it in half and now I have 1/2. And on the other side, I need to make it equal. But I don't want to just cut it in half. I want to find another combination. So from yesterday, I'm going to take 1/4 and 1/4. And look at that. While it's cut into 2 parts, it's still equal to the other part. So if I was going to write this side is 1 of the 2 parts. Ooh, that's not working very well. You're right, it's not working very well. So for this side of the fraction, it's 1/2, right? 1/2 of the whole is red. On this side, there's 2 quarters. So that's going to be 2/4. So we want to look at this and think about all of our vocabulary words. So going back to the original fraction, what does a fraction mean? It means that parts of a whole are taken up, represented. So on this one, the fraction is 1/2. 1/2 of it is shaded. And then when I talk about the numerator, when I'm writing the fraction, the numerator is that top number. So what number is the top number?
The numerator.
The numerator, wonderful. Marco, what number is the top number? Numerator, the 2, exactly. And then the bottom number is the denominator. What is the denominator?
4.
The 4, exactly. The bottom number is the denominator. And today we're focusing on making them equal. So while may have different numerators, different denominators, they're still covering the same part. They're still equal to each other. Okay, so now I'm going to break this one into, let's count this, 1/3, 2/3, I'm sorry, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. And then on the other side, I'm going to break it into 1/4, sorry, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8,
and
4/8. So these look very different, right? But is the same part shaded?
Yes.
It is. The red part and the green part are the same. And you want to see how we're going to know that? If I take these parts and cover them right over, look at this. So if we join all those parts together, that equals 1/2. And that equals 1/2. So while they're going to be written differently, they represent the same part of the whole. So on this one, we have 4 of the 8 parts shaded. And on this side, we have 3 of the 6 parts shaded. And then this one should be a review. Logan, what part of this pizza is green?
1/2.
Exactly. And then, Logan, what part of this pizza is red?
1/2. So together they make one whole.
Wonderful, and that's actually tomorrow's lesson. We're gonna focus on making them wholes and still being able to translate them into fractions. But today we're just focusing on making them equal. So I'm gonna show you an example here, and I want you to tell me whether it is equal or not. So if I have this side of my pizza is broken into 4/8, and this side of my pizza has 1/4 covered in pepperoni. So 4/8 are covered in peppers, green peppers, and 1/4 is covered in pepperoni. Are those fractions equal? 1/4 and 4/8. Are these covering the same parts of the pizza? Thank you, they're not, right? Could we make the pepperoni equal to the pepper side? Does anybody have an idea how we could do that? Marco, what do you think?
We could put another piece.
Exactly, and we want to make that same size piece because that's the most important part when we're working with fractions. We want to make sure that our parts are equal when we're talking about them and making them equivalent. So we're going to erase this, and now we're going to rewrite it because now we have 2 out of 4 parts and 4 out of 8 parts. Are these 2 equal now?
Yes.
Show me your rating. Where are we? Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's do one more. And this one might appear a little trickier. So here we have 3/8, and then over here I have 1/6. Are these 2 fractions equal? Are these 2 fractions 3/8 and 1/6? Are those equal?
No.
No, they are not equal. Let's see here. If we put this here, and then we come over here, and and we do this, let's see if this one is equal. We have again 4/8, 3 out of 6, 3/6. Now are they equal? And how do we know? Logan?
Because how we know is because they both fill up the same part of the pizza.
Wonderful, bravo, bravo. Okay, so now we're gonna get some help from our friend Moby, but it sounds like our friend Marco might have a question. Yes, Marco?
This is a way to make 5.
So you're showing me that 4 plus 1 equals 5?
Yeah.
You are correct. All right, so now I love seeing my ready listeners, hands in our laps, bottoms in our seats, and let's get started. See what they have to share.
A whole sandwich by accident?
No, that was on purpose.
All right, so now is the super fun part where we are going to actually be building our own pizza. This is my custom pizza. And so you're going to watch me do a couple things, and then you're going to get a turn to build your own. And the important thing is we want to be able to come up with some sort of equivalent fractions for the second part of this project. So I do not want to see you cover the entire pizza with every topping. You want to be very intentional. So this isn't about designing your most delicious pizza. You want to challenge yourself to look at this pizza and look at our equivalent fractions and see how could I create some equivalent fractions on my pizza. So the first step on creating your pizza is you're each going to get one whole crust. It's going to be divided into 8 parts, like this one. Then you will get your sauce. Yours are all cut into 1/8. 1/8. And so the whole pizza will be covered with sauce. So if our whole pizza is covered with sauce, 8 out of 8 will be covered with sauce. And then maybe you like cheese on your whole pizza. Most people do. So your whole pizza may have cheese on it. So those 2 will be 8 out of 8. But the rest of the pizza, you want to create unique fractions, keeping again in mind to create equivalent fractions. Yes, Marco?
I like cheese and sauce pizza.
You like cheese and sauce? So I want you to challenge yourself this time. Maybe think about someone else that you would design a pizza for. Or look at these for inspiration because we want to add some variety. And so on mine, I only did half of it. So 1/2 of my pizza has nothing on it. And the other half of it actually is divided in 2 equal parts. So the half is divided into 2 parts. And so that makes the whole divided into 4. And so if I'm going to write this as a fraction, we have how many parts are total? Let's count those just to be sure. Get ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 parts total. So everyone's denominator for their whole is 8. Denominator, that bottom number. But this one's tricky because only 2 of my parts have bacon. So for this section, I need a separate fraction. So how many parts of the whole have bacon?
2/8.
Correct. So the bacon would be 2/8. And the peppers, what would be the fraction of pizza that is covered by peppers? Logan?
2/8.
Correct. So you're going to get a sheet. I actually will pass them out now so you can look at it as I'm discussing this. And after you design your pizza, you'll get your crust, you're going to design your pizza, and then you're going to list out the ingredients and fractions. So this one would be bacon. And then this one is pepper.
Bacon.
You have a chart that you'll fill out. And so that's part one, is coming up with the written fraction for the pizza that you designed. Part two is going to be after that, and that's where we actually write sentences. So if I wanted to write a sentence about this fraction, I could say, my pizza is cut into 8 parts. So the second part, we'll be using this strategy where we actually create sentences, and it's going to create a whole paragraph describing your pizza. So my introduction sentence could be, my pizza is cut into 8 parts. So let's do one more practice. Yes, Marco?
What grade were we in again?
3rd grade.
I thought we were in 7th grade.
Okay, so let's try this one more time, okay? Instead of using my pizza, we're going to pretend that we're describing this pizza. So Logan, what is the fraction of pizza that is covered with pepper on this example? What fraction of pizza is covered by pepper?
4/8.
Correct. So if we're writing this fraction with numerals, we're writing the numerator as 4 and the denominator as 8. And now could you use that fraction in a sentence to describe this pizza?
4/8 of my 4/8 of my pizza is covered in bell pepper.
Wonderful. So 4/8 of my pizza is covered in pepper. Depending on whether you like that pepper or not, you might be excited, you might be sad. That really depends. Okay, so let's do a quick rating to see our level of understanding on what we're doing now. I'll review that we're going to first get our supplies to design our pizza, step 1. Step 2 is creating the written numeral fraction for your pizza. And then step 3, which we will discuss again in a little while, is writing the sentences. So, show me your rating. How are we on understanding what we're getting started on as far as designing our pizza? How do we feel about this? Wonderful. And how do we feel, how confident are we in writing our fractions in numerals? Wonderful. And then how do we feel about writing our fractions using sentences? Okay, great. So, I'm going to go ahead and pass out your supplies. Each person will get their own pizza box and pizza crust, but we will be sharing the toppings. So here is your pizza box, here is your pizza box, and there's a glue stick inside, and again, you're using your sauce and your glue stick, gluing it to your crust. And then I have this, here's this group's toppings. Each group will get a choice of multiple toppings. But remember, this is not your favorite pizza. We want to try to create some equivalent fractions using these toppings. Yes, Logan?
Is the white the cheese?
Yes, the white is the cheese.
Because then my pizza dough is made out of cheese.
Okay.
It's white.
And then we're just eating sauce and no cheese.
Oh, I see. Okay, so what is step 1 on building our pizza? Step 1 is gluing our sauce. So I should see everyone gluing their sauce.
Wait, can I cut glue? Do I glue that?
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, I'm putting that glue in.
You're doing a great job building your pizza.
Look at this pepper.
And what I like what you did is put red because red is one of my favorite colors.
You love the color red?
Yeah, and black is my next one.
And so after you're done designing your pizza and you've written the fractions, turn your paper over so that I know that you're done with designing your pizza. I'm gonna walk around. If anyone needs help writing their fractions, we can work together to come up with what fraction is represented with which topping. Right, it looks like Marco's finishing up his last one. I like the way you're using the labels on the toppings to help you with your spelling. Great job. Okay, Logan, could you go ahead and start cleaning up your pizza? Everyone, go ahead and put your pizza inside the box. Exactly. We're going, now that we're finished with that part.
I my pizza.
Pass me the toppings, and now we're going to move on to the next part. And I actually would like to see everyone's pizzas, to see how they turned out, what kind of design you chose. So if you could, please show me by holding up your pizza. Let me see what your pizza looks like. Can you show me your pizza, Marco?
It's in my box so it doesn't get cut.
I would like you to actually show me. Hold it up. Logan, can you show me your pizza? So I want to practice writing one. Can you tell me something about your pizza, Marco?
My pizza has.
Hold on. One of my things fell off.
Okay, my pizza has pepperoni, bacon, and mushrooms, and also tomatoes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So
And pepperoni, mushrooms, and pepper.
can you tell me how many parts of your pizza have tomato on it?
Okay, so I have one.
One part. So when we're looking at this, our numerator is going to be 1 because that's the part. One part has tomato. And then do you remember how many parts there were total? How many did we break the pizza into?
It was,
7.
Very close. 8.
Oh.
8. So we broke that pizza into 8 parts. And so 1/8 of Marco's pizza had tomato on it. And so now if I wanted to write a sentence about that, okay? 1 part of my pizza has tomato.
I gotta go deliver this pizza.
Well, what you're actually going to do now is we're going to work on the bottom portion of our sheet. So now that you've written the fractions, the fraction numerals, you are going to write sentences. We want to write a full paragraph with those sentences. So how many sentences are in a paragraph, friends?
5.
Correct, 5. And our paragraph should have an introduction, 3 supporting details, and a conclusion.
4. The introduction. Oh, never.
An introduction, 3 supporting details, and a conclusion. So what could be an example of an introduction sentence? Yes, Logan.
Let me think. One could be, I'm gonna tell you fractions of my pizza.
Great. I'm going to tell you, how about we say, I'm going to tell you about the parts of my pizza. Or, I broke my pizza into fractions. Let me tell you about it. And so now you're going to work quietly and come up with a descriptive paragraph about your pizza. Yes, Marco?
Like I cut the pizza into 3 pieces.
Right, but did you cut your pizza into 3 pieces? We want to make sure that our information is true. So how many pieces did you cut your pizza into? Do you remember?
8 pieces.
So you guys are going to work quietly on that. If you get finished early, you can design your pizza label custom. This is what mine looks like. So just turn your paper over when you're finished and I'll come by. I also...
I don't know what to do.
Once everyone's finished, we're going to use our checklist to review our writing and see how we did. If we did everything that we intended to do to write that paragraph properly. I love seeing everyone working so quickly. Oh, Logan, looks like you're done. Okay, so again, when you're done, I'm gonna bring my two things. You're going to first take a look at this checklist and look at your paragraph. Did you use your own words? Do my sentences begin with uppercase letters? Did I remember to include any of my vocabulary words? Numerator, denominator, equivalent fractions. And then once you're done with that, go ahead and design your thing. Okay, Marco, looks like you're done too.
I'm not done.
Bring yours over. Okay. Is that your last one? Okay, great job. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing where you're looking at your checklist and then coloring this when you're done. Okay.
But I got 5 times.
You did a great job. Yes, Logan?
What should I color this with?
I have some markers over here.
Ooh.
And remember, once you've completed your checklist is when you can get started on designing your project.
Can I get my markers?
We're going to be sharing these markers. Okay, it looks like everybody's finished with, you finished your check. Okay, great. You guys did such a great job at grading your papers. And so I'm wondering, we've finished now. We've created our fractions. We've turned them into numeral written form, and then we turn them into sentences, which created our paragraph descriptions. And so I want to take a moment to just talk again about them being equivalent. And so can I have eyes on me for one moment? Thank you. I'm going to show you 2 parts, and you're going to tell me, are they equal or not? Are these 2 parts equal? Wonderful. I love the thumbs up. Thank you. They are equal. And why? How do we know they're equal, Logan?
Because they both take up the same amount of space.
Correct. And if we put this green one on top of that one, it would disappear because they are equal, right? Now, if I put this over here, was this an equivalent fraction? Marco, why is this not equivalent?
Because they're not the same.
They're not equal. Wonderful. So now, do we feel like we have mastered making pizzas into fractions?
Yeah!
Let me see our ratings. Are we at a 1? Are we at a 2? Are we at a 3? It looks like we're at a 10. Great work, friends. Let's go ahead and clean up all of our supplies.